Boyfriend turned out to be a gold digger. He lost it when he found out that I made my own money and that I'm about to dump him. My boyfriend, 35, and I, 35F, were discussing finances as we wanted to be on the same page. My boyfriend moved in with me unexpectedly 3 months ago as his landlord decided to move into the property with his family. We were discussing finances and the topic of how I own my place came up. I explained I won some money, not a lot but enough to be able to put myself through nursing school, purchase my home and have some savings, back in 2009 and bought my place outright and then rented it out until I moved back into it in late 2018. Obviously I had some luck on my side as this was right in the middle of the recession, so I got my place for real cheap. He says I deceived him by giving him the impression that I was financially well off and that I led him to believe I was more business savvy than I was. I don't know how I did that because I literally work as a nurse, make decent money, fully own my home, fully own my car, have decent retirement plans and decent savings. I'm fairly certain that I am financially better off than most people I know. He says that he can't trust me anymore and that he was stupid to have listened to my financial advice, but the thing is I never gave him any financial advice, except for telling him not to buy a car that was in my opinion unreliable and much too expensive. Did I deceive him by not telling him how I got myself financially stable? FYI, we have been dating for almost a year and a half. I just had another, very weird conversation with him and I honestly can't wrap my head around it. Yeah, so he is definitely a gold digger. He asked me how much I have in savings and seemed impressed with how much and then said maybe he reacted too aggressively. Then told me that he still wants the car I advised him not to get. He hinted at me getting it for him as a birthday present since it's his birthday in early March. I am definitely dumping him. Going to wait till my 2 sisters and my 2 brother-in-laws can come over before I break up with him in case he reacts crazy. He's jealous and also resentful. He's ranting about how he would have tripled the money if he had won it. He's saying that my money is wasted on me because I don't make money. Apparently I should have been investing my savings in high-yielding stocks and other shit. FYI, I do get financial advice from a financial advisor I trust, but I am a risk-averse person, so I would never invest it in the manner this idiot is telling me. Sure, the chance to get a lot of money is there, but so is the chance to lose. He's now on a crazy rant because I suggested we take a break from this argument because I don't want to ruin my few days off. My God, I can't believe how he's behaving. He thinks he's so clever, but I am thoroughly disgusted. Oh, it is absolutely over between us. Okay, so I understand him better now. So my house/the property it's on is what led him to believe I was much richer than I am. He assumed I was loaded. So me telling him I actually got lucky pissed him off. Then when he found out how much in savings and assets I have, he perked up and had a change of mind. He's now telling me that with just a quarter of my money he can show me how to invest on the stock market and make real money. Oh, he is genuinely deluded. Update 1. So my sisters and brother-in-laws came over and I asked him to leave. He got very angry and argumentative. While he and I argued, my family packed up all his stuff and put it in his car. He didn't have much at mine as most of his furniture and other bigger items were already in storage. He couldn't believe I'd break up with him over such a little thing. As if he hadn't spent 3 days yelling and ranting at me. He finally left and is now staying at his parents' house. His parents called me to ask what happened. I explained the situation and they said it was for the best we broke up. I did, and see him for a few days, but he called and texted a whole bunch and it was just him flipping between being regretful of his behavior to raging at my audacity and stupidity. Then I got call from Mike, one of his friends, and he asked me what happened because ex-BF was telling people he broke up with me for being a cheater. Apparently he caught me sleeping with some random dude. I explained the situation to his friend and he laughed, saying he was wondering when he'd bring up his money schemes. So we had long chat and he told me how my ex had recently lost a lot of money in trading and that's what had him stressed and anxious. It's also what pushed him over the edge. Apparently he was angry with me for not taking the same risks he takes. He bitched to Mike about me being a risk-averse person. Mike told me to move on and to change my locks because my ex apparently had a history of being nasty when dumped. He was right, because a few days after that, ex broke into my house and took a shit on my kitchen counter. He was arrested while he was in the process of evacuating his bowels. I obviously changed the codes to my security system so he couldn't get in with the old codes, and by the time he had broken in the back door, police were already on their way. He tried to tell the police that he was my boyfriend and lived in the house, but what resident breaks the back door of their house and bleeds over the entire hallway and then takes a shit on their own kitchen counter? He spent the night in jail and was bailed out the next day by his parents. They called to apologize and I told them to never contact me again. I am also in the process of getting a protection order. I have never dated crazy before and I am absolutely gobsmacked at his insanity. Additional info to the story through relevant comments. I had arrived back to the house while he was in the back of the police car and one of the officers recommended a cleaning company that specializes in biohazards. Lucky for me, they have someone come in the morning for an emergency priority fee, and honey, I was happy to pay. My brother-in-law also temporarily boarded up the back door with some leftover plywood he had. Then I paid a guy I know to replace the doors and I paid extra for some real solid and heavy doors. He also painted the hallway. The cleaners had to use harsh chemicals to get the blood off and it damaged the paint. He'll also be remodeling my kitchen for me. It's outdated and I've always planned to fix it up. Honestly, didn't even go in the house. I saw what I needed to on the security cameras. I was too devastated. The cleaners did do an excellent job. I had to call them. I called them up and explained that I needed cleaning of bodily fluids, the blood and stool. They agreed to take me on and could have a team arrive in the morning. The cleaning company specializes in forensic cleaning and biohazards. They are an independent company and do not work for the police or the government in any way. I paid just under $2,000. This included the cleaning fee and the emergency priority fee. The police did take pictures of the house and had me send them my security camera recordings. We did discuss past relationships, but obviously everything was a lie. He had told me his last ex cheated on him. They were together for 3 years and Mike told me that it was true, but I was missing the part where she had only cheated as a form of payback before she broke up with him because ex had repeatedly cheated on her. I'm on it. Literally have cameras all around and in the house. He hasn't contacted me since his arrest, but if he does, I am absolutely keeping notes and informing the police. Never thought of this. I went ahead and changed all my logins and my Wi-Fi username and password. Thanks. When he broke down the door, he also damaged the glass work it had. The glass shattered and it sliced up his hands and forearms. They weren't deep cuts, but it was enough to make for a shocking crime scene. He then went into the house, got blood all over the hallway and parts of the kitchen. He used some of my kitchen towels to wrap up his arms, so blood was also in the kitchen area. When he was arrested, the officers did call for an ambulance and he was treated on site while I was speaking to one of the other officers.